and the teams, but we will get into the pick and ban phase between the guys. And I mean, already from the bans, you might be able to see if it is going to be a mirror matchup, if they're just spilling out something. They got 6 letters at the moment to use.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested. So far, leaving it down to the last second. So it is going to be Zoe. So we already know we're not getting a Zoe versus Zoe matchup.
I like the Nasus ban right there from BJERGSEN. Don't want to see that again from FAKER. Oh, yeah, he knows. He knows.
That is a fan service ban right there. No one wants to see the.
No one wants to see the 100 CS mask. No. We
Get that out of there.
We want to see fights. Azir has been banned a lot in this 1v1 tournament as well.
See, what we really need to do is a quick rule adjustment and increase the number of bans so that there's only like Zed, Yasuo, and Vayne.
We have to wait through the entire pick and ban phase, and we're just like, all right.
On the 132nd ban, Zerkot, interesting. Very, very nice.
I like the Lucian ban as well. Even though I actually would love to see Lucian being played in this. He's just so strong in the 1v1. Talia being hovered. Okay, there's the Syndra from FAKER.
Are we going to get a mirror here?
He's obviously not going to take Talia in this 1v1.
BJERGSEN did take Syndra yesterday, and the players are kind of laughing.
Wow,
it is a Talia. Wow. So
that's
BJERGSEN talked about preparation. One thing I'm looking at with this is the amount of pushing power Talia has. If you can actually shove in your opponent, it is very hard to CS under turret. He may not be planning on actually taking a fight. If there is no flash on FAKER, you don't actually allow him to hit a scatter of the week, you don't actually allow him to close the gap, you could just make this into a farm fest.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. It might be exactly what BJERGSEN is thinking right now. FAKER obviously wants to fight him and try to kill him here, Syndra 1v1.
Because I just don't see Talia as a like, oh yeah, Talia is what I want to kill this Syndra in a 1v1. Like, you're not trying to get near the Syndra most of the time.
Well, unless you can land the knockback into some crazy burst, but once again...
You'd have to then dodge the scatter of the week and a lot of abilities, so...
This might just be a push Talia, as you highlighted. Surprising, for me at least. Definitely not one of the mid laners I expected to see.
No, not at all.
I thought, again, like we're looking at things like Syndra, even Orianna can be used. We saw that from Power of Evil. No, Talia it is.
But some of the atypical stuff has really been successful in 1v1s. You know, Grasp of the Undying Caitlyn last year and things like this. If you can actually theory craft something to really take down your opponents, it is going to be exhaust barrier for BJERGSEN, the only difference being the heal, obviously, for FAKER instead of that exhaust. And both players selecting Airy, so we'll have to wait to find out what those secondary runes will be.
I mean, we have to have Mana Flow banned in here. We can see on both guys, which is not a big surprise. Scorch, most likely, as well. And then it's just all about what they want. Is it Absolute Focus in there as an option?
So FAKER actually taking as his secondary Legend Alacrity and Last Stand. So that is actually pretty surprising. So Legendary Alacrity is actually the attack speed.
Yeah.
So that's a lot about the pushing. I think he may be trying to contest that. And extra damage when you are low HP from Last Stand. So maybe trying to pull off some sort of surprising burst. Like if you save your ultimate till you're low HP, you could get a bit of extra damage there.
Also, if you're baiting out, you know, with your barrier. So when you're on low HP, you use the barrier to just stay alive for a little bit longer and you deal extra damage at that time. So that's very interesting. Like the Alacrity one, typically is where you get kills and assists, and you obviously get more and more attack speed the further you go into the game, but it does give you some base attack speed at the start. That is clearly what he's valuing here to try and push this Talia back.
And especially the Last Stand is something that you just don't even see. Even as far as solo queue on SR, that's not something I really see people picking whatsoever. For BJERGSEN, it is going to be more standard, will be the Resolve secondary tree. He's going to be playing Mirror Shell and Second Wind, so that is the flat MR as well as the regen. And it does simply look like BJERGSEN is going to play the pushing game. He's going to try to win here on CS, shove in your opponent, and like it's very hard to last hit these minions properly. If they've taken any damage, they'll just die in one shot.
Yeah, so you don't want to hit that caster minion before the towers hit it, because you need to just last hit it right after. It's not like on Summoner's Rift where you got to hit the caster minion once, then the tower shot hits, and then you last hit. FAKER just messed that up and actually lost the CS.
The melees are also very awkward to CS because it's not like 2 hits then auto it. It is kind of like a hit and a half, so you kind of have to prep them properly to actually have them be able to be last hittable. Obviously, Syndra can be pretty good at that later on, though.
Basically, the tower 2-shots the melee minions. That just makes it very difficult to CS. So BJERGSEN, once again, playing to just push all the time, and it is working for him at the moment. FAKER looking instead for that all-in, needs to land the stun first, and then he can apply a lot of burst damage that BJERGSEN will struggle against.
The other thing that's actually really big on this
hit
map
the wrong one.
in particular is the fact that if you control the wave, you control the health relics. And every time you're getting a health relic, that's essentially a full potion extra of HP. So and even if BJERGSEN is getting poked somewhat, the fact that he's getting both of these relics is a really big deal. And he's just going to go back to base. Once again, there's a cannon there. That's going to buy him enough time. He knows the wave will now push back towards him, but
interrupted.
Does get stopped on the back a little bit. Oh, no. It's like one of the same time things.
Actually just made it back, so important for him. Faker still struggling a little bit under this tower here, but this time around he got a few more minions. 23 for him to 29 from BJERGSEN. And Faker's not gone back to base yet, which is also important to highlight.
Exactly. The fact that he hasn't gone back to base and that his opponent has a very strong push means if he cannot push up the wave before he goes back, it's going to be tough for him because he will likely have a lot of minions denied to the turret while he is away, and then the wave will be pushing back on him again. And Faker's getting not only low on health, but relatively low on mana here. So we'll see if he can actually pull something up. I mean, if he hits 6 before BJERGSEN, there is still potential for an all-in.
This is dirty, though, from BJERGSEN. Again, so much poke landing. Got that early back. You know, sitting with 2 Dorans. He has boots as well.
And he's taken 3 health relics to Faker 0. Like, he just continuously gets them. Yes, he took a Scatter of the Week there, did get traded on, but he grabs, again, another health relic. He's pushing in Faker, and Faker's almost out of mana.
Yeah, so Faker is just kind of waiting to get like level 6, then he needs to go back and get full mana, and then he needs to go into this lane here and see if he can actually try and lock down BJERGSEN.
The problem with that is it should be very apparent to BJERGSEN.
Oh, he knows for sure.
Well, right? And when you're in a situation like that, if I'm BJERGSEN, I push out this wave, I base again, I buy defensive items.
Oh, stop the recall.
You buy something like a Ruby Crystal, you buy Magic Resist. As long as you cannot get one shot, you already have enough pushing power just from a couple Doran's Rings in your base damage. He's kind of outthought Faker a little bit here, it feels like.
All right, so we got 50 CS hit right there from BJERGSEN's side. Faker very low, no mana. Can't really fight against the Talia at the moment. Just tries to last it under this turret. The minions will not really help him here because they start hitting the casters.
Is close there. BJERGSEN should not be able to stop this base, but he's just looking to push, and then he should back. He's out of mana as well. So this is now a Faker's kind of chance. He did get Sork Boots, especially now if BJERGSEN buys MR, that completely nullifies it, because for the 450 gold, you get 25 MR compared to the 1,100 gold committed for these boots. Yes, it helps close the gap and whatnot, but he's going Merc Treads, and I think this is so smart from BJERGSEN. It almost, to me, eliminates any chance of really being able to pull off a kill.
Well, it just makes it even harder also now with the stun not lasting as long, so there's a high chance that BJERGSEN can just step away.
And to dodge the skill shots as well here.
Exactly, just dodge it in the first place. If you do get hit, you know, it can last longer. You can then actually just disengage the fight here. Faker right now, though, we'll try and see if he can fight. Misses that one.
And to Faker's credit, he actually has kept the farm pretty close. So it is not out of the realm of possibility they could win, you know, just on farm if he can actually push BJERGSEN back.
Yeah, this is a very big wave for Faker right here, where he's picking up quite a lot of CS. We'll be able to last hit that one as well. Actually, you're able to really control most of the melees. Sadly for him, has to give away a single one.
Only down 3, though. He's actually done quite a remarkable job last hitting under the turret. And, Faker just barely stepping forward. Remember, though, Faker does have last stand, meaning he will deal more damage when he is on low health. BJERGSEN likely not expecting that sort of a mastery. Could be a little bit surprised by the extra damage coming out.
Oh, Faker wants this one. BJERGSEN
out of mana. Faker could actually theoretically catch up on farm here.
Oh, he will try. Let's see if he can stop the recall as well. There we go. Stop this one. Didn't get the last one because BJERGSEN just made it back in time. Faker, yeah, while he's a bit low on HP, does have both summoners available. BJERGSEN's exhaust here. Obviously needs to be in range to use it when Faker is actually going for the all-in. Faker is much more focused on just healing himself and staying alive. Misses the stun.
Yeah, this is pretty tense. Faker
super scary.
Going back again. They're actually completely tied on minions now, but Faker does not want to just give up these waves that are coming out.
Yeah, also extra minions right here that BJERGSEN can kill. Faker wants to try and get it under the turret to see if he can deny something, but that's where Talia is so good at just pushing it right back.
Yeah, and especially when you're actually moving around the territory on the map, she always is going to have more work ground to actually utilize there in that 1v1. Faker looking like he is trying again to go back, but BJERGSEN could very easily stop this. He even has the ult to stop that, and Faker getting so low.
Yeah, and that's greedy by Faker to start recalling right there. You know, he's still in front of his turret. Very easy for BJERGSEN to just stop him and deal so much damage.
Pretty crazy 1v1. Faker is down 4 CS already, and there's 4 additional minions here, so it's about 8 CS of an advantage, and tries to guess to stop the recall. Not going to be able to do it, but still, FAKER is going to have to all in very quickly when he gets back. BJERGSEN can base again and kind of prepare for the final push here.
BJERGSEN needs 2 more waves to win this one. 91 CS what he's sitting on, goes back to base once again. FAKER getting a bit of CDR, didn't actually even wait for full HP, just rushed back to try and catch these minions here.
But I honestly think at this point, you cannot really win on minions. Taliyah can very easily access those minions with the Qs pretty safely, unless you can completely zone him off. Like, you have a cannon wave here. This is going to push into BJERGSEN. FAKER needs to start posturing. He needs to pressure BJERGSEN and not allow him access to the minions, or he simply already lost on the CS.
Well, he's trying to look for that all-in. Does actually manage to connect the stun. FAKER
Getting pretty low.
Kill used already from him. Ulti is ready.
Neither player bought potions. Like, they didn't actually come back to lane with any more potions. This is last one there for BJERGSEN. FAKER has no more remaining. Does have the last stand. Can look for an all-in. Potentially could burst
BJERGSEN with the minions.
He's got to go. Oh, he's so low. That's 100.
That was a very exciting 1v1. The Taliyah surprising pick from BJERGSEN was all about pushing, pushing, pushing. While FAKER under turret still managed to get so many of these very, very hard to get minions where the turret constantly tries to mess it up for you. And in the end, BJERGSEN gets 100 CS, but FAKER almost got the all-in.
Yeah, barely not getting the kill there. So much extra damage coming out with that ultimate. Did look like he might have been able to finish him off, but BJERGSEN already had access to the minions, already had it closed out, and FAKER would have just had to try to deny him from getting up there in the first place.
Right, and we also did see with, you know, this all-in here, FAKER was trying to zone BJERGSEN away from the wave, and then BJERGSEN said, you know, I don't care. You know what, I can survive the all-in. There was still, barrier was still ready.
I mean, that last orb could have taken BJERGSEN down. That would have been very
I'd probably use the
close.
barrier. I'd probably just click the barrier.
Yeah, I would have been pressing the barrier, for sure.
Also still interesting with the alacrity right there from FAKER, though, to try and help him also last hit, because it does work when you get some large minions with the CS to also get a bit more attack speed. It's not just kills and assist on champions. And definitely, again, still managed to get quite a few under that tower to keep it relatively even.
Yeah, that's by far the best CSing we've seen under turret in the 1v1. Like, not even close. People have been missing, I would say, more than half the minions pretty regularly, and FAKER was keeping up really until he started getting forced back to base. But BJERGSEN talked in the interview how 1v1, in his opinion, is more about the preparation, right? It's about outthinking your opponent. It's not necessarily about always being able to outplay them mechanically. If you can outthink them, you don't have to do that. And it seemed to me like BJERGSEN just outthought his opponent. He outprepared him.
And also with bans like the Lucian, you know, who can all in easier against the Taliyah, he felt probably very safe. You know, of course, it's blind pick, you know, lock in for him and just focus on pushing. And cool strategy. Knocks out FAKER again.
Not bad.
He didn't get a mirror match this time, but FAKER ends up dropping in the quarterfinal.
But not really FAKER messing around this time. It did feel like it was playing for the win, and definitely did get a little bit out prepared there by BJERGSEN, so very well played for him. But next